Think about the last time someone canceled plans with you. Maybe they apologized. Maybe they had a perfectly reasonable explanation, and you said the words you're supposed to say. No worries, it's totally fine. Maybe you even meant it. But later that night, when nobody was around, a quieter thought showed up. Of course they canceled. I wasn't really important to them anyway. That's the part nobody sees. You're not angry. You're collecting evidence. Evidence that you're the backup. The second option. The person people remember once their first choice isn't available. If you've felt that way for years, hear this before we go further. The feeling is real. The story attached to it may not be. There's a difference between being overlooked in a moment and believing you're someone people will always overlook. Once your brain confuses those two things, ordinary moments stop being ordinary. A late reply becomes rejection. A canceled plan becomes proof. And somewhere along the way, you stop asking, what happened? And start asking, what's wrong with me? That's where this gets painful. Maybe you remember being 11, standing on a playground while two captains picked teams. One person gets chosen, then another, and eventually, you're still standing there. Nobody says you're unwanted. Nobody has to. Your brain understands the message anyway. Or maybe your version happened later, finding out about a trip after everyone else had already booked tickets. Or always being the one who texted first, checked the phone first, wondered whether someone actually wanted you there or simply didn't mind having you around. Any one of these can hurt, but the brain doesn't experience repeated moments as separate events. It looks for patterns. First, they didn't invite me this time. Then, they don't really think about me. Then, nobody chooses me first. Notice what happened. The event stayed the same. The meaning didn't. Something happened, and your brain turned it into an identity. The shift from this happened to me to this is what happens to me. Once that belief takes root, your brain doesn't need much new evidence. It starts doing the work for you. Say a friend doesn't reply for 4 hours. There are a dozen explanations. Working, driving, exhausted, or they simply forgot. But if you've already learned to expect rejection, your brain skips past all of those and lands on one. They're losing interest in me, and suddenly 4 hours isn't 4 hours. It's evidence. This doesn't mean your pain is imaginary. It's real. But once you believe you're difficult to choose, you stop experiencing neutral moments neutrally. You interpret them through the belief you've already formed. The interpretation may belong to an older story than the one actually happening in front of you. And that distinction can change everything. Psychology offers a few honest explanations. The first is attachment. Early relationships shape what we come to expect from closeness. When connection felt unpredictable growing up, some people become especially alert to signs it might disappear. Rarely does this become, I'm unlovable. It's quieter, I need to work harder to keep people. So you become hyper, aware, you track tone, reply speed, who gets invited, who gets called. Your nervous system starts scanning for rejection before rejection has actually happened. The second is negativity bias. Your brain doesn't weigh every experience equally. Negative ones grab more attention, because from an evolutionary standpoint, noticing threats mattered more than noticing comfort. 9 people can choose you. 1 person doesn't. Which one do you replay at 2 a.m.? Not because you're weak, because your attention is built to flag what might hurt you. And modern life gives that instinct an endless supply of material. The third is comparison. You open your phone and see an engagement post, a birthday dinner, a caption reading, my favorite people. Before you realize it, your brain asks, where are my people? You're comparing your ordinary Tuesday to someone else's curated highlight reel. The moments they chose to post, measured against every moment of your actual life. Put those 3 together, a nervous system tuned to rejection, a brain that remembers the bad moment louder than the 9 good ones, and a feed constantly showing you what everyone else appears to have. And it's easy to feel like you're losing a competition nobody ever asked you to enter. But here's what changes everything. Being someone's second call doesn't automatically mean you're second best. Sometimes the first call is just history. A friend calls someone else first because they've shared 20 years together. Someone calls their sibling before their partner because that's who they've always called in a crisis. That's not always a ranking. Often, it's just circumstance. We've made a dangerous mistake. We've confused convenience with value. Being easier to reach isn't the same as being more loved. Here's the harder truth though. Sometimes, without realizing it, we teach people that we'll accept being the backup. Not because we deserve it, but because we're afraid of being left out. We say yes when we mean no. We hide our preferences. We become the person who always says whatever you want. I'm fine with anything. You decide. And then quietly wonder why nobody notices what we actually want. If you constantly erase yourself to stay easy to choose, people may never get the chance to know the real you. The answer isn't becoming difficult or playing hard to get. It's simpler. Know what you want, say it plainly, and let people respond to who you actually are. Being chosen after performing a version of yourself isn't the same as being chosen for yourself. You cannot control who texts first, who calls first, who thinks of you first. If your worth depends on winning that invisible competition, you'll spend your life waiting for someone else to hand you a verdict. So ask a different question. Not, why am I not their first choice? But do I feel valued in this relationship? Those aren't the same question. The first makes your worth dependent on someone else's ranking system. The second asks whether the relationship actually works for you. Sometimes the honest answer is uncomfortable. Sometimes you really are giving more than you're receiving. And when that keeps happening, the answer isn't to become more useful, more agreeable, more convenient. Sometimes the answer is simply to stop auditioning and choose people who don't require a performance to keep you around. The next time you're staring at a message thread, replaying something someone said, wondering why you weren't included, pause. Don't rush to reassure yourself, and don't rush to condemn yourself either. Just ask, is this evidence, or is this the old story looking for another chapter? Maybe they're busy, maybe they forgot, or maybe an old fear is filling in the blanks before the facts arrive. You don't have to decide instantly. You can let the facts arrive before the fear writes the ending. With practice, something shifts. You stop measuring your worth by response times. You stop treating every canceled plan like a verdict. You stop asking, what do I need to become so they'll choose me? And start asking, are these people capable of meeting me where I am? That's a much healthier question, because the people who genuinely value you won't always choose you first. They'll still get busy. They'll still forget sometimes. They'll still have other people they love. What matters is the consistency underneath it, the effort, the way they make room for you, the way you don't have to constantly wonder where you stand. And if someone only seems to value you when nobody else is available, you don't have to spend your life convincing them otherwise. You can walk away from the audition. So if that familiar feeling returns tonight, the sense that you're someone's backup, don't rush to believe it. Take a breath. Separate what happened from what it means. Being overlooked once doesn't make you forgettable. Being someone's second call doesn't make you second best. Someone choosing another person doesn't automatically mean they rejected you. And even when someone does reject you, their choice was never a measurement of your worth. You were never required to be everyone's first choice. That was never the goal. The goal was to stop abandoning yourself just because someone else didn't choose you. Maybe the story was never nobody chooses me. Maybe the story was, I spent so long waiting to be chosen that I forgot I was allowed to choose, too.